Hubie Halloween is Adam Sandler's extravagant return to form, harkening back to his classic films such as Jack and Jill, Pixels, and Grown Ups. Almost 1 year ago, I released a video of me marathoning and reviewing 8 classic Adam Sandler movies in a row. I want to say I enjoyed myself after having a lot of fun with movies like Billy Madison, Click, and 8 Crazy Nights, but then again I had to sit through Grown Ups too, so I guess I'd be lying. But anyway, a couple people asked me if I was going to be keeping up with my tradition, and watch and then review another 8 Sandler flicks this year. Which got me thinking, and as sad as I am to admit it, I think I'm running out of Adam Sandler movies. No, I don't mean movies like Uncut Gems, I mean real Adam Sandler movies. You know which ones I'm talking about. I know, it's a disappointing fact, but what's left? I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry? Yeah, more like I now pronounce me not watching it. I mean, think about it. When was the last time you've entered a theater and been presented with this? If I don't see the Happy Madison logo and that guy saying terrific, then I don't give a f. But it's not like Adam has just disappeared, he's still a huge star. And these films made a ton of profit, so they wouldn't just stop making them. They must be hiding them somewhere. Well actually, it turns out that Adam has shifted his focus over to the ever so popular, not to mention profitable, streaming services such as Netflix. Now, as we've gone over in a previous video, Netflix doesn't have the best reputation when it comes to their original content, with most of them being low budget, effortless teen dramas that, while awful, make for excellent YouTube video material. For some reason, putting the word Netflix in a title is just like a surefire web for success. So whatever, if you can't beat them, join them. But all this doesn't give me much hope in them improving some of the common themes of Adam Sandler movies. You know that they suck. I mean, these movies already seemed like they were given too much of a budget for the kind of stories they like to tell. So he started churning these out extremely frequently with such hits as Murder Mystery, Sandy Wexler, The Do-Over, The Ridiculous Six, The Week Of, I Could Keep Going If You'd Like, and a part of me already knows you wouldn't like. So without further ado, here we are, the newly released Hubie Halloween. And by newly released, I mean like a week ago. So does Hubie Halloween provide laughs all around when the world desperately needs it? Or is it an Adam Sandler movie? Well, before we start, I think we're gonna need some protection. No, not that kind, please let me continue. It seems like the Happy Madison Corporation have invented some new type of product placement in their films, where instead of having the many characters on location shamelessly advertise a product to you, I know, right, the nerve of some people. They've now changed it so your TV will instead just reach out and grab your money right from your pocket. So before getting into this endeavor, we're gonna need to gear up. That's why I've thrown away my old bulky wallet and replaced it with this brand new sleek and stylish Ridge wallet that fits perfectly in my pocket, free from the clutches of Adam Sandler. I'm using the titanium wallet, which is really convenient. And there's some other cool products on their site too, like this useful waterproof backpack I'd recommend. So head over to ridge.com/lsmark and use code LSMark for 10% off and free worldwide shipping. Links in the description. Now, with all the kids going out and about their towns to trick-or-treat this year, now with all the kids staying inside and reminiscing about the times when they could go out and about their towns trick-or-treating every other year, Adam decided he would entertain the world with a hilarious, off-the-walls, spooky Halloween movie to raise our spirits. Okay, now remove the hilarious, off-the-walls and the spooky, and that leaves us with what we actually got. In this movie, Adam Sandler plays Hubie, a low-life loser who still lives with his mum. He's treated terribly and harassed by everyone in town, and that's never worse than in Halloween, since he's so easily scared. But get this, it's his favorite holiday. That sure conflicts with his experiences on that night. How clever. So anyway, a new neighbor moves next door, who's acting awfully suspicious. On top of that, there's this mysterious figure appearing around town, who's acting awfully ominous. I'm sure it's nothing. On Halloween night, Hubie is getting pranked as usual, by Maya Rudolph, Tim Meadows, that one kid from Jessie, or his classic role of Shrag Gupta from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. This is until they all start to disappear. So Adam is tasked with finding out who's responsible for the kidnapping in the neighborhood that so coldly mocks him. Much like every Sandler movie, this is a standard enough plot, and they don't really do much with it. They try to do some interesting things like having the townsfolk turn on Adam, thinking he's the killer briefly. But I mean briefly, as in the very next scene he's talking to the same people like they never just blindly accused him of murder. Now Adam is harkened back to the good old days of Little Nicky and Billy Madison, where he actively tries to ham up a voice for a full movie, and honestly, this might be the worst one yet. Half the time I can't understand a single thing he's saying, it just sounds like mumbles.
You used to throw garbage into my bedroom window.
I don't get how anyone on set was able to record a full movie like this without questioning whether or not the audience would be able to understand our main character. By the way, what exactly did Hubie do that warrants him all this hate? Like, kids will chase him down the street with knives, he gets pushed into a grave at one point, like the entire world is out to get him, yet we never know what he did other than just talk weird, I guess. Well, I mean, there is a reason, but for the sake of narrative, let's leave it till the end. And then there's a corpse! Oh wait, never mind, it's just Steve Buscemi. So yeah, apparently Steve Buscemi is a werewolf in this movie. I say apparently because we never actually see this transformation at all throughout the film. The most we get is seeing a bit of hair in his arms. Other than that, he doesn't really do anything. It's weird how much time they spent trying to develop his character at the start. Other than that, the only character left to mention is the pointless love interest. Because it wouldn't be an Adam Sandler film without one. Now, how these love interests usually go in these types of comedy movies is they'll have the hot lady seem way out of Adam's league at first. Then over the course of one scene, 2 if we're lucky, he'll win them over with his hilarious wit and boyish charm. However, in Hubie Halloween...
Fortunate dangling Dave.
God, I love the way you phrase things.
Okay.
At first I thought they were gonna go for the thing where she seems super interested in Hubie as a joke. Like she was also in the joke and wanted to mess with him by acting really forced in love. But no, this lady is just a freaking psycho. I guess Adam just thinks this is how women act around him. And I mean, hey, he gets an A for... confidence. I'll see myself out. By the way, if you were hoping this being on Netflix would mean we don't get to see the movie flooded with all Adam's friends, then think again, the gang's all here. Honestly, at this point there's been so many of these movies featuring relatively the same cast, I think of them more so like The Simpsons' Treehouse of Horror, where we're seeing the same cast reenact a different story each time. There are also a plethora of random kid plotlines we get, but I don't really feel like they're even worth mentioning. This guy wants this girl, then in the next scene he gets her, and they stay happily together the rest of the movie. What's the point? Speaking of what's the point, this film's many attempts at humor. Now while I will say this isn't as awful as his previous films, it however seems like they just took your average Happy Madison script, removed all the homophobic and racist jokes because it's current year, and instead replaced it with nothing. Unless you find the idea of Adam Sandler screaming like a banshee funny, then this movie is going to give you nothing but a headache. I mean, there's this running joke where every time Hubie's mum is on screen, she's wearing a different shirt with a sexual innuendo on it, but like, is that funny? Maybe. I guess that's subjective, but when it comes to this, I'm subjectively right. Am I supposed to find the 2 hours of bullying funny? These people are so awful to Hubie that I really wish he was the villain in the end, getting his revenge on the town that wronged him for literally no reason. No, I'm gonna get into spoilers, so if you want to remain spoiler-free for Hubie Halloween... Yeah, right, let's move on. So it turns out that this film has cleverly delivered us a red herring, as Steve the Werehog isn't the killer. So I guess it must be that weird mental hospital guy, right? Oh man, when I get my hands on him... Ah, a corpse! Oh, it's just Rob Schneider. Ah, a corpse! Now Rob is actually also not the killer, just another red herring. He just escaped from the mental hospital to try and get his roommate Steve Buscemi back, who had also escaped a few nights before. So if it wasn't Steve and it wasn't Rob... I knew it! Oh, I guess it wasn't him either. Oh, it was the mum. Seeing her son be tormented so much brought this poor lady to her breaking point, as she kidnaps all of Hubie's enemies and tries to... burn them alive. This is until Hubie comes in and saves the day, where we finally get to find out why everyone hates him so much.
I feel a lot of pressure to be cool all the time. I'm jealous of Hubie being able to be himself.
Oh, so it just turns out that everyone in town was jealous of Hubie. How sweet. And this lady gets away with attempted murder. The end. Don't bother with this movie, it's not worth your time. I've seen a few people say it's not as bad as some of Adam's other flops like Jack and Jill, but at the same time, that movie is at least shockingly bad. Like you just sit there with your mouth gaping open in pure disbelief of the concept of this aired in theaters. But with Hubie Halloween, there's nothing all that offensive about it. Just another boring, bland comedy movie. Especially since, like I said, it's almost 2 hours long. This has no right being over an hour, never mind 2. So in the end, if you're really strapped for Halloween movies to watch this year, which why would you, there's like a million of them, put on bloody Hocus Pocus for all I care, you really have no reason to check out Hubie Halloween. And really, wait a second, nobody told me Paul Blart Mall Cop was going to be in this movie. Instant 10, I frickin' love Paul Blart Mall Cop.